name is Drax here, and I am your color commentator for tonight. Going to be commentating.
By the way, we're starting when the timer runs out.
Oh, you're trolling me.
Yeah, it's Champ Select that decides when we start talking.
I thought you were like the camera's on. I'm like, okay, do I go now or?
That is constantly changing. Always rearranging. Always rearranging. Always rearranging. That is constantly changing. Always rearranging. Always rearranging.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Duo Esports matchup between Aether Esports and Frosty Esports. Joining me on the cast tonight is none other than...
Hey, good evening. My name is Drax here. I'm your color commentator today. I'm really looking forward to this upcoming match.
Absolutely, Aether Esports currently sitting in 12th place, Frosty sitting in 3rd. However, this matchup may not appear like it is on paper. Is it going to be an easy 2-0 for Frosty or maybe something else?
Well, as we've seen just from the match just before this one, anything can happen. Let's see how much improvement each team has shown in the past week.
Absolutely. First Esports have shown back-to-back that they are one of the top teams in this league here, and a 2-0 for them would mean that they solidify their spot in the playoffs with the 13 points. On the other side for Aether Esports, though, they need this win pretty desperately.
And so, as we often do, gotta cheer for the underdog. Let's see what Aether Esports team composition will be put together in this desperation fight for the playoffs.
I also have some more looking at their roster. I mean, the roster isn't a 12th seed roster at all. They have Dwayne in the top lane. We've seen this guy do pretty good. Wayne, we saw him on Piping with a really good Xerath performance. Hero is a veteran of the league. They just need to mesh with that synergy.
Absolutely. We well know Hero's individual performance is quite high, but one of the biggest parts of the bot lane is the synergy between the AD carry and support.
Absolutely. While we were talking about that, we see a lot of bans to come through. It appears like area of effect and tankiness does not seem to be what Frosty Esports wants to see today, as to where a little bit more of a single on-hit damage and tankiness is not what Aether want to say.
Absolutely, and do keep in mind that a lot of these bans are targeting specific players on the enemy team, not just for composition's sake. So definitely targeting out the Maokai for Dway, Warwick for Law, and Oriana for Gawain, respectively.
Definitely the case. And Kha'Zix Leona, this is looking like we might have some very interesting team comps to go under here.
Absolutely. 2 unorthodox picks right off the back. It's a bat, not the back. It almost feels like Worlds all over again.
Looking to pair with that Leona pickup. They did ban away the Oriana, but looks like they're going to lock in the Vi. Yeah.
Vi Leona, 2 very common solo queue champions from several patches ago, now coming back from the grave to see play in this duo esports game. Let's see how well they can put them into effect.
I mean, so far on Frosty, I am seeing heavy engage, and I don't know if they're going to stop right there.
Absolutely. I would like to see some more pressure coming from the bot lane picks. For example, a Tristana or Lucian, something to force that movement forward. However, look at that pick for the AE bot lane, Zyra Khan.
A classic Zyra Khan. This duo back and forth has worked out in competitive play and in the BSGCS before as well, and we've seen what they can do when they're with each other.
Absolutely. One of the strongest early games and level 1s in the game in a duo support AD carry situation, as well as having strong peel potential, which is what we really need to look for against this Leona Vi Azir.
Definitely the case. They have some initiation on their side. Personally, what I want to see out of the Aether comp, I want to see some wave clear. I'm always a fan of wave clear, and I think they can get definitely something good from a wave clear perspective in the mid lane.
Absolutely. They definitely need wave clear. They definitely need some sort of peel. Otherwise, this train that Frosty is putting together is going to be too large for AE to handle. It's going to run them right over.
Looking at the bans quickly for Aether, Tristana, and Jinx. Some of Mr. Convenience's favorite champions banned away from him here, and I don't think they're going to stop just yet.
Fizz and Shen bans going through, targeting Gawain and Dway respectively. Let's see what Convenience picks. How will it complement this go-go-go composition?
I think with a go-go-go comp like this, you need something that's just going to sit back, fire safely in the back line, and there it is.
There it is, the Twitch pick. Twitch E was nerfed quite heavily in the last patch, seemingly for no reason, being one of the weaker AD carries in that patch. Now in this patch, definitely being in the bottom. Let's see if AE can capitalize on how weak Twitch is as a champion individually in this game.
They certainly have the bottom lane to do that for sure. Zyra Khan, if the Twitch steps a little too far forward, it could be the end of him, and the rat might be going right back down the sewer.
Absolutely. The Kled pick for Dway. We've seen it before. It was pretty good.
Can he make it happen again, though? The only pick that has not been locked in for Frosty yet is their top laner, Mordekaiser, so he'll be able to know exactly what he's going up against and maybe have a good matchup.
You mentioned the Xerath for Gawain, and it is locked in. Let's see what wonders he can work on it, as he did in Piping Esports. The top lane matchup has been confirmed to be Kled versus Urgot. Definitely a skill matchup in that regard. Neither side wins it straight off.
If you had to pick a side that has a slight advantage for the Kled Urgot, though, which one would you say?
It would definitely have to be the Urgot. One of the things that Urgot excels at is punishing melee laners, of which Kled is no exception. And after 6, Urgot will have immense kill pressure, as if Kled is ever demounted, Urgot just needs 1 or 2 hits, and that Kled is going to be executed.
Sounds like some scary stuff to deal with for Dway in the top lane. Hovering over to the jungle, both of these junglers definitely different from the tanky ones we've seen for a while here. Kha'Zix Vi, which one do we think is going to be able to bring out the higher gank pressure in the early game?
Definitely going to the Kha'Zix, a stronger pick in general nowadays. However, Vi does have the advantage of having some CC to bring to the table, so if Vi can get the jump on the Kha'Zix, it could easily turn towards the Vi's favor. However, like I said, Kha'Zix being an individually strong champion, let's see if Law can start smurfing on them with that immensely strong assassin in the jungle.
Immensely strong, but immensely squishy as well. And I think if you're diving in to that Frosty Esports comp, you have to be very careful with how you do things.
Definitely. Team fighting is not going to be the name of the game for this AE comp. They're looking for picks. They're looking to get that early lead with the Kled, with the Kha'Zix, so that Frosty never have a chance to team fight in the first place. However, in a team fight scenario, AE is going to have a very rough time dealing with Azir and Twitch DPS while dealing with the Urgot Vi Leona frontline.
And a lot of the dive that they're going to need is going to be coming out of Dway on this Kled. So how the top lane performs is going to be very indicative of how the team fights play out.
Absolutely. One thing to note is Leona can stun people, but she cannot get them off of people necessarily. So if Kled lands that Q and on melee form on that Twitch, Leona may not be able to save him.
May not be able to at all. Looking right now at both of these team comps, who's you liking more as a whole?
I think both comps are drafted pretty shoddily. You have the AE comp drafted, which looks a lot like a solo queue composition with that Kha'Zix, with that Xerath, the strong bot lane in the Zyra comp, but that's kind of offset by the Kled, who really relies on having a good top lane matchup to succeed. So they're basing a lot of their power on that top side while having a strong bot side. So when you split your power like that, it often is hard to deal with getting both ahead. On the Frosty Esports side, we have Twitch, which is a strong hypercarry in the late game, but Leona is contrasted with that strong early engage. So you have a strong early support and a weak early AD carry, and then you have a strong late AD carry and a weak late support. So they're contrasting too much against each other, along with that Azir. So they kind of gave themselves some early game power and late game power, but they went about it the wrong way.
I definitely agree. I do think that in terms of how the bottom lane is going to play out, assuming if Not a Real Doctor is able to make best use of this Leona pickup, I do think it's going to go in favor of them. A lot of people misunderstand exactly how much damage Leona can do in the early game, and with an Ignite as well. I think if either Ziff or Hero steps a little too close, they're going to get killed a lot quicker than they think they will.
You're definitely correct, and there's a massive mistake going down on Ziffy's side, taking Exhaust, which is really only good in lanes where you have no contention whatsoever. With that Ignite pickup from Leona, it can definitely turn the tide in favor of really the Not a Real Doctor 1v2. Like I said, Twitch going to be extremely weak in that early game.
Definitely. We'll see which one of these teams is able to perform better in the early game. I don't think too much is going to happen on the Aether Esports bottom side, though. Maybe it will. What do you think?
Like you said, it really relies on how the positioning goes for Hero and Ziffy. And the cool thing about Ziffy is he at any time can E and dash towards his lover Xayah. So that kind of cancels out a lot of engage on that part. So as long as Hero doesn't miss position, which we know him to be one of the more consistent AD carries, so hopefully that won't happen too often, they should be fine. Like I said, we should be looking more towards that top side, seeing how much of a lead the Kha'Zix and Kled can gain in this early game. Because if this game drags on too long, there is going to be no answer to this Azir Twitch as the game progresses.
Definitely, we know what Twitch can do in the late game. We've seen what Azir can do in the late game. Not exactly the strongest in the early game, but definitely making up for with that late game power spike that they're able to get.
Actually, take a look at Azir's summoner spells. He took Flash and Teleport, extremely ballsy on one of the weakest early game, late game carries on that Azir. Of course, Azir can at any point dash to his E. However, if his Q is down, he has no escape. So hopefully Kha'Zix can make use of that knowledge and see if he can pick up a kill or two in that mid lane. If the Xerath gets ahead, it's going to be a rough time for the backline of Frosty, as they have no sustain whatsoever.
No, they don't. They do not have that whatsoever. But either way, we're going to be hopping right on to the Rift here. Aether Esports on the blue side, Frosty Esports on, you have to be kidding me. Okay, the red side, and we have a pause.
We have to have a pause. It's written in the contract.
Yeah, it's written in the contract, but that's once per stream, not once per game. Come on. Alright.
Like many have said before us, and we'll say in the future, it's not duo esports if there ain't a pause.
Definitely the case. And while we've been touching on almost all the picks pretty much here, but one of the picks we haven't touched over and kind of overshadowed a little bit is the Vi pickup for Solo Rost here. What are we feeling about that?
Solo Rost is going to have a bit of a harder time in the jungle clear, going to be a bit slower, and of course in the 1v1 may win it if she gets the jump. However, in terms of 2v2 strength, Kha'Zix will outpower him, and of course at level 6 after the evolution will be outpowered once again. However, that consistent available CC in her Q and her ultimate may be enough to turn 2v2s where AE does not position exactly as they need to, and as we've seen so many times, time and time again, no one positions correctly all the time. So if Ross can correctly identify who's out of position and catch them out with that unstoppable ult.
Assault and battery?
Assault and battery. I was trying to figure out the name. Thank you. Then that's a guaranteed kill for the Frosty roster.
Personally, I think the Vi's a little overkill, because they already have the Leona, they have the Azir, and the Urgot as well for follow-up engage. I don't know how necessary a Vi is as well when you already have a Leona on top of it. I would have went with one or the other, personally going towards the Leona, because I'm a biased AD carry main, but we'll see how this Vi picks up.
Absolutely, you're exactly right. If they get behind at any point, the Xayah Xerath will be too much frontline damage for the Frosty Esports roster to deal with. And because they have no one to really soak that up while they get into position, they could easily be poked out of a good situation and turn it quickly into a bad one for Frosty. So Vi really needs to get that early game done in her favor to make this pick worth it. However, do not think of Azir too much as an engage pick. We've seen so many times the Azir Sextrema shuffle combo used as an engage, but it's not necessarily his main function.
No, it was not at all. It is an option for Azir, a very ballsy option in that, but not the option to go with on Azir whatsoever. So we finally get out of the pause, hop onto the Rift, and do you think there'll be an invade?
It is possible. We'll see. It looks like they're spreading into the 5-point spread formation for now. Doesn't look to be any different. In this 5-point spread formation, not a lot of people talk about this. It is a very great early game formation in that you can see if their invade is coming. However, one of the greatest weaknesses of the 5-point spread is a long duration root or a hook. For example, a Morgana bind, a Lux bind, or a Thresh or Blitzcrank hook. The reason why is because if they come in as 5, you won't have enough time to react if they come in through the Fog of War. So they will get a kill. And you cannot defend against it because you are not stacked. So we haven't seen any champions like that recently. No Blitzcrank, no Morgana. But once we do, we'll see if the teams use that as an option. Looks like we're kicking off the game, though. Kha'Zix looking for the blue buff start. A bit unorthodox, not going with the normal bot lane start. Let's see how they utilize this in the first 5 minutes.
May kind of say that Aether Esports wants to focus on the bottom half of the map a little bit early on, maybe trying to take advantage of that over-aggression to come out of Not a Real Doctor on this Leona pickup here.
So you see the AE bot lane fake leashing, but it doesn't matter. Dewey took hits from the blue buff. So if the Mordekaiser on that Urgot top lane identifies that correctly, they will know that Kha'Zix started topside.
Yeah, I'm trying to be a little sneaky, but it's already on a security camera, so it's not so sneaky for Aether Esports, and I'm pretty sure Mordekaiser will also notice that, so maybe now, even if a little unintentional, they do have a very good read as to where Law could be in the jungle.
Absolutely. Ross doing the standard blue, wolves, red, clear. Going to be around topside at 245. However, Dewey is being pushed in. So that gank path has been closed off to that Vi. We'll see if there is a gank on the Xerath mid lane instead.
It's certainly a possibility, and touching back on this Vi pickup here, where do we think Solo Ross is going to aim his first gank?
It really is not up to him. It's up to the lane position of the Xerath and the Kled. Kled being a difficult laner to gank in the first place due to his mount mechanic, and Xerath being a difficult lane to gank due to his range. So he's going to have to get a little bit creative with how he plans out these ganks.
While we're talking about ganks up here, Laura's going for his first one in the bottom lane here, pops out of Fish, jumps right on top of him. Aether Esports looking for first blood, and the BBQ, and they will flash for it and get it. Ziffy's the one that picks it up.
It was a late heal from convenience, or that Leona had gotten out. That's a massive issue, and maybe it is linked to that Twitch's internet issues. It looked like he was lagging there, and it's often used as a meme, but it actually could be happening.
You think it could be happening? Maybe. Maybe then. But, well, actually, still in the bottom lane. I don't think that's going to pay off. I think Mr. Convenience is well aware of not to step up any closer. In the mid lane, though, they're looking for the play on Gwen. Forces the flash automatically, and that's lane pressure in favor of Shy Quen.
Do keep in mind, though, that Vi burned his flash, so as a ganker, Vi is extremely weak now, not having that Q flash engage. Good escape from Gawain. Gawain getting poked out by the Azir, though. Azir showing his muscles.
Flexing him a little bit right there. The Vault Breaker with the flash, definitely a good way for the gank, but may not have been worth the trade-off unless they're able to capitalize on the lack of that Xerath flash within the next 5 minutes.
Do keep in mind that Kha'Zix started blue, and as we said, they should have known, but there were no pings at blue or red for the Kha'Zix, so it is entirely possible that Frost didn't realize that he started topside.
That is possible. Definitely from how they've been moving so far, maybe Mordekaiser didn't pick up on it. So perhaps not. Maybe they still don't know where the Kha'Zix is. Could go to the mid lane if he so chose right now.
Azir has flash available. Let's see how the Kha'Zix plays around it. Kha'Zix has flash as well.
Gonna look.
Oh, Azir misses the E!
Oh, he misses it. That means he's gonna flash right back over, get out. But it's still a good play out of Law.
All Law had to do was hold his jump there, walk up to the Azir, force the flash, then EQ on top of him, and he was a dead bird.
Now both of the mid laners without the flash. Gwen's is up a little bit sooner, but we definitely have to keep our eye on these junglers because they're going to be honing in on that mid lane.
Absolutely. Kha'Zix being slightly behind in terms of this clear game. Vi has 9 CS above him, which is about 2 camps, so that will pay off as the clear timers are going to be in favor of the Vi. He's going to hit level 6 a little bit faster, already hitting level 5. We have to keep an eye on him as he hits that Assault and Battery power spike.
Assault and Battery is one of the strongest ultimates in the game. Even if you don't want to go the full distance, we've seen what a Vi can do in flying across the map to get to our target.
However, AE's vision spotting out the Vi.
Yeah, they have a good read as to where Solarost is right now, so they know that they need to play it safe. Don't step up too far forward. Not a Real Doctor can be waiting, ready with that Zenith Blade stun combo.
I just realized that the reason the Leona died is she opted for the Ancient Coin start rather than the Targons, or I should say Relic Shield. Making her quite a bit squishier than what she normally was, and that is why she fell, even regardless of the Twitch heal.
Why do you feel like she would do that?
They must have been going for extremely safe playing style, but even then, I think it is a mistake. There is really no reason not to take Relic Shield on a melee tank support.
We'll see if it pays off, though. I don't think it will. I'm definitely with you on this one. I feel with Leona, the Relic Shield is the better option. But maybe we'll see something crafty and creative out of a Not a Real Doctor.
It is a Cloud Drake as the first dragon, so probably not a lot of activity hovering around the spot side, just because the possible dragon is not a great reward for any one fight.
It's a little dangerous to go for the Cloud Dragon first, but what I like to see out of teams is them actually going for it, because that accelerates the dragon count. And if you're able to get a dragon early on in the game, you open up that gate for 5 dragons before the Elder spawns.
Absolutely. The problem being, of course, that going for an objective like the Dragon or Rift Herald is quite a risk, so the reward needs to be worth that risk in order to justify going for it. Taking a look at the farm levels in a kill-less game or a couple of kills, you need to watch who has more CS. In the top lane, Urgot bullying out this Kled. As I said, a tough matchup for Dway and struggling a bit. In the jungle, 11 CS behind. That is now 3 camps. Vi is 6. She's looking for a gank. Possible dive on Dway. Dway has been demounted.
While we're looking in the mid lane, though, Shy Quinn looking for the play, gets hit by the Shocking Orb, but not going to be able to make the Streamer shuffle backwards.
Absolutely. Vi's looking for the dive. Urgot needs to push his wave in.
This could be really bad. The remount's not coming up anytime soon for Dway. Wave's getting pushed in by Mordekaiser. Gets the last minion. Double buff Vi, Assault and Baryon towards him. A jump right on top of Dway with this one. It's underneath the tower, which means that it's going to be a turn from Dway. Solarust gets turned on.
That might have been one of the worst Urgot plays I've ever seen. He stood next to the tower, so his W prioritized the tower over Kled as a target, and also caused him not to have enough mana for his ultimate, making it a 1-for-0 for the Vi. It's death, and the Kled gets a lead.
Youch! That is not what Frosty were looking for, and that means Aether Esports are 2-0 on the board 9 minutes in.
Kha'Zix got the Wolves as a pickup, not finding the bot gank as he was looking for, but getting that Wolf camp is going to put him even with this Vi.
Oh my god. Wynn's gone on, he needs one more hit to take out Wynn on this one, skewers him up, and kicks up a solo kill.
Here. Azir has no flash.
Goes for the jump on towards him. Misses the Void's box, but is it going to matter too much? Goes underneath the turret, takes a bite out of him before it gets bited on by Solarust. There's the skirmishing smite. It looks like Lo's got out of this one.
Oh, if Vi skirmishing smited before his auto attack, it would have killed the Kha'Zix. Now flash burn for nothing. Very close on both sides to having the pace turned. However, because it was a 1-for-1, the pace has not changed. It is still on AE's favor.
Still in Aether's favor, and they need this early momentum in order to start to shut down Frosty's comp here. We're starting to notice a few mistakes out of Frosty, and hopefully, as we accelerate closer towards the 15-minute marker, they can start to fix those up.
Keep an eye on the top lane. Now the CS is averaging out. Kled catching up with the double buff pickup from the Vi. Perhaps he can get a solo kill on this Urgot over a couple of trades. In the bot lane, Xayah has a 7 CS lead. Slowly gaining advantages, and like I said, AE's comp needs to win early or they're going to struggle, and they are so far managing to gain some advantages for themselves. So they still have hope for this mid game.
Definitely the case, and some of the problems we've seen out of Aether Esports in the season is that they're not that much of a proactive team. They're kind of a bit of a reactive team. They wait for the opponent to do something. If that something's good or bad, it isn't really up to them. But now in this matchup, we're starting to see some proactivity.
Absolutely. The Streamer Shuffle in the mid lane.
Not going to be able to land the shuffle this time. Arcanal Pulse does miss, but the Shocking Orb does hit. So it's a 1 trade. Now in the bottom lane here, Law's down here, there's the quickness, they're going to try and get on the Twitch, they can find him because he's invisible, so they turn right back onto, or it's not a real doctor, not able to pick up the kill, Spray and Pay being thrown back and forth, Expunge do some good damage, the re-engage might not do enough at all, and no one's going to die in the bot lane.
Taking a look at the summoners, that's Flash Heal and Flash Burn for the bot. Kha'Zix jumps in the Vi!
Oh, they're going straight on towards Solarust.
Azir's here!
There's the knockup. They're going to be able to kill Vi in time with the Assault and Battery. Yes, they will!
Xerath's moving down.
Picks up the kill. Gwen knows not to get too close. There's a Shocking Orb. Does miss it, but there's the Arcane Pulse. Takes him very low. Right to the Arcane. Goes for 1. Goes for 2. Can't go for the 3rd. Turn with the Arcane Pulse on top.
Not a real doctor in trouble.
Not a real doctor is going to be taken the low. Taken on this one. Gets hit by the Shocking Orb and gets taken out by a hero.
It's a massive victory for AE, and neither teleport the entire time was burned in the top lane. It's a bit of the top lane island syndrome kicking in. No interaction from the top laners whatsoever in that massive fight. Wards everywhere. Could have been multiple teleport opportunities to keep their teammates alive. Not happening. Shaiquin almost pulled out the outplay on Gawain, dodging the ultimate Arcano Pulse with his Shurima Shuffle, but not having enough mana to finish him off. Wow, what do you think about?
A lot of back and forth, and as you mentioned, the TP play was an option, but Mordekaiser opted to go down the little path for the mid lane. I don't think that was what he needed to go there. Maybe looking for Gawain to recall underneath his tower and pick up a kill with the ultimate, but that was not the case, and the teleport would have been a much better option. Unfortunately,
Absolutely.
That's not the case.
Now Hero with 201, 160 CS under his belt. With the Essence Reaver over the Runon's Hurricane Rush from Twitch. That's actually a massive mistake in itemization. Ziffy gonna E over. Oh, Real Doctor follows him over the wall!
Brings him in with the Zenith Blade. They're turning that right on top of its head. And Hero will be able to pick up the kill. The burn damage goes for the chainsaw and absolutely obliterates Ziffy. It will be a trade kill, but Aether are very much on the ball today.
What a mistake from both sides. Ziffy not standing behind Hero, not realizing. We didn't even realize Urgot had teleported in to help his team. However, Urgot is going to lose a wave and some tower damage in the top lane. Real Doctor followed Ziffy over the wall by accident, not realizing that Xayah was over the wall there to save him. And you see this coin itemization coming to bite him back. Only 200 HP on this item. He's just as squishy as like a Taric.
I mean, I don't like that either, but I'm definitely not feeling the no boots right now. It's gonna hurt Leona a lot, but in the top, they're not gonna do anything to each other. In the bottom lane, though, sneaky stuff, Mr. Convenience, but is it sneaky enough to get out there? 3 members of Aether Esports right next to you. Ziffy's gonna catch him, lands the knockup perfectly as he pops out of ambush and gets taken out by Law. Just a few more hits would do it. Nowhere for the Twitch to go. And that is the second kill for Kha'Zix.
Absolutely, as Kha'Zix going to get stronger and stronger in these mid-game fights. He can pop either the bird or the rat. Going to be a bit of a hard time. And like I said, that Runon's a massive mistake in itemization.
Oh no, wait a second! Holy moly, gets himself locked underneath the turret. Right as the Arcana come through. 3 out of 4, 4 out of 4. Gawain lands the last one, picks up the solo kill, and somehow got Shaiquin underneath the turret.
Massive outplay. I think we might have to replay that at some point. Vi looking for some tower dive pressure onto Kled. A repeat of last time would be undesirable.
It would be undesirable, but it looks like it's not going to happen. Now the Dragon, 15 minutes in for Aether Esports. They'll take that Cloud Dragon all too happily.
Absolutely. And like I was trying to say twice, as action keeps breaking out in these games, Runon's Hurricane as an item, okay for wave clear, going to be a massive mid-game weakness for this Twitch, as he has no damage to follow it. No BF Sword, no pickaxe, no AD. Yeah. It's just all attack speed.
I ain't feeling it. You can have all the attack speed in the world that you want, but if you're not doing any damage, it's not really relevant.
And add into that the Twitch E-nerfs that happened this patch, and this is going to be a very weak rat for another 20 minutes.
And one of the things you have to highlight, Mr. Convenience now in 700 gold. BF Sword's 1300. That's going to hurt him a lot because he has to wait for the BF Sword. The pickaxe not going to be enough damage, and if he does get the pickaxe, that's going to be even more gold he has to farm up for.
I want to see Dway go for the solo kill, but it doesn't look like he's ballsy enough. Has the ultimate available, doesn't go for it.
No, not going to go for it. Aether Esports picking up the second turret of the game, 2-0 for themselves. Law able to get out of that with the stealth and the jump as the rest of Frosty rotate over, but have they rotated over in time?
Dway is actually waiting for Twitch. He's just sitting in the bot lane doing nothing. Oh, he's teleporting.
Hero gets tagged on this one, the flash away. The quickness locks up 3 members of Frosty. Not going to be able to do enough as Shaiquin is on the wrong side of the fight here. Not enough damage to come out of Frosty Esports on this one. The flash, assault and battery brings him into the turret, and Law gets the turn kill. 11-2 as Aether Esports fire on all cylinders.
Convenience gets caught by the hook.
Oh no, gets lopped up by the bear trap. Now Mr. Mordekaiser is in trouble. Dway picks up that kill. That is 3 kills for Aether, maybe even more.
flash W by the Xerath. A very ballsy play by Gawain. I think he's really happy that this is going so well for their team.
Yikes. 12-2. This is looking grimmer for Frosty by the minute.
Absolutely. Keeping an eye on Hero, he was able to free fire that entire fight. Never had to burn ultimate to save himself. This is the weaknesses of Frosty's comp coming in, like you mentioned. The Vi not pulling off any specific purpose. 0 and 3.
Yeah, and now it's going to be a very easy Rift Herald for Aether Esports. Ooh. Looking at Frosty right now, they look a little scrambled. What do you think they have to do?
I think, honestly, they've underestimated Aether. I think they kind of drafted whatever, they're kind of playing whatever, and they thought they would win, but Aether's putting up a good fight. Mid tower's falling. They have to stall out this game until the 40-minute mark to have a chance at this, and even then, it's a rough start, because like I said, Leona's going to fall off in usefulness as the game progresses.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the Vi.
Come on, not a real doctor. Where are them boots of speed? Because this Leona is
for the locket.
Slow. Look at the movement speed. 345 18 minutes in. Yikes.
He's so slow. He's so squishy. This could be the worst itemization from a support I've ever seen.
Some pretty scary stuff coming in. Either way, though, in Aether, they've yet to drop a turret.
Absolutely. Gawain has teleport available. We could see him moving towards the bot lane and applying pressure there. Would be the correct macro move to secure this Baron coming up in about half a minute.
Well, looking at Frosty Esports, a lot of things are going down south for them. But what do you think Aether need to do in order to give Frosty the game? Or at least a little chunk of the game?
As I said, because the Azir and the Twitch are available, and the Kha'Zix and Kled are going to fall off extremely hard, even harder than the Vi and the Leona. If this game can go on to 6 items, Frosty has it. However, there's no way this game is going to 6 items. You have Xayah, Rakan, Kled engage. Oh, and the engage comes in mid lane.
Uh-oh. Not quite gonna come in towards the mid lane. Just a little bit of a spook right there. There's Ray the Arcane out of Gwain. Goes for a few shots. Not gonna be able to land any of them.
We've kind of fell into this trap of the ARAM again. This is when both teams don't really know what to do.
Solo lanes. The answer. Never ARAM-ed. But that is what Aether are gonna opt for here. They
Oh, the engage from Rakan!
There's some good damage on a Mordekaiser right there, but it's going to be Rakan that takes the front force of the damage.
2 down!
Lock in Kha'Zix as well. Frosty Esports with a turn to
Massive ultimate!
Massive ult out of Hero, but he's going to get skewered right afterwards. It will be a 3-for-4 though. Aether have 2 members up here. The solo laners still alive on this one, as it's only Shy Quinn against the world here, taking about 10% HP.
Was actually fantastically played by Frosty. Superior team fighting to this AE squad. Hero failing to ult the Leona ult. Rakan just hard engaging way too hard. And they 2 died at the outset. Hero's massive ultimate barely managing to bring it back. But this is the kind of play Frosty needs to make at least 2 or 3 more times to get this game back into their favor.
Definitely the case, not a real doctor. Finally picking up boots. Might just be what won them that team fight right there. As you mentioned, Dragon, Infernal now spawning, and both of these teams would love a piece of that.
Twitch, though, not hitting that 2-item power spike yet. He's just not able to pull off a fight like that unless AE misplays it as hard as they did.
Yep, and from the positioning right now, Infernal Dragon will be going over to Aether Esports. That's the advantage given over to them. The next Dragon also an Infernal as well, so if this keeps going, this could be really bad for Frosty.
Absolutely correct. And one of the reasons why Aether lost that last team fight is, like we said earlier, in their composition, Xerath is a poke mage, not a team fight mage. And the Kha'Zix is he gets picks, he doesn't team fight. So because they had a straight up 5v5 team fight, they almost lost it with the 6k gold lead and the Infernal. So they need to make sure that they play this next one better.
Absolutely the case here. Playing to your strengths, what Aether needs to do in order to stay in the lead here. And we've seen the contrasts in the two teams this play right here. Aether, not the greatest when it comes to team synergies, where Frosty are probably the team you would label for synergy. They've been up there with everyone else. Very different in the top three. We see Piping definitely pretty havocy, very controlled in the second game, a little iffy on the first. Noineps, we see they played their solo laners. Omen's ahead. Okay, GVG doesn't have to do anything. GVG's ahead. Omen doesn't need to do anything. The third seed, Frosty, though, I never am looking at this team and being like, whoa, you're playing great or you're playing terrible at a single player. I'm looking at this team and saying, wow, you're really playing as a team.
Absolutely. In a couple team fights like that, they might just get themselves back in the game, but there's a Baron call by Aether.
Oh boy, Baron Asher taken below 6,000. Aether may not have the tools to rip through this
2,000
here. Taken low.
1,000.
Frosty Esports to come around the corner, but it's not gonna be enough at all. Solar
Ultimate
Flares
lands on the way by Urgot. Assault battery into 5 people.
Into 5 people, you crazy Solo Rust. He goes in and gets taken out right afterwards. Aether taken low on this one, but they got knocked back into safety by the Stream of Shuffle. Frosty are taken very low in this one as Murder Kaiser gets taken out. Arcano Post is going to snipe the round onto that one. And now the minions are doing most of the work that they need to against that. Azir right there turns them into bird food. And 20-5 on the board. Aether are looking to pile down on the middle turret.
Aether had complete vision. Oh, the Banner of Command Baron minion! Look at that tower damage! Keep an eye on it. This is the new meta. Anyway, Aether Esports had full vision control of that Baron. Started it without hesitation. No Mountain Dragon. It's exactly how you should take an objective. Look at this Baron minion.
Look at
it's
that.
Actually,
holy moly. What? That is ridiculous.
Holy.
Like, I've seen him broken, but that's a little silly right there.
Oh my. And after the Baron was taken, Frosty threw away any hope of making some kind of comeback play when Vi, Assault, and Battery both mentioned it to 5 people.
Now what you doing, Vi? That's not how you do it. But Aether Esports are showing us exactly how they do it. And for the people that have been here with us since the exhibition matches, this is a complete reverse. The second exhibition match of Duo Esports, we saw these two teams face off before the season even started, and it is a complete opposite of how it was going back then.
Absolutely. Frosty not looking so hot. Crumpled a little bit there. They still have a chance in this game if Aether makes another couple missteps, but it's getting smaller and smaller as the time progresses.
It is, and looks like Aether Esports looking to clip off the wings that Frosty could possibly have to try and get back into this game, going for the top lane tower and playing it by the book.
Hero has been playing these team fights not perfect, but has been getting the necessary damage off. Kha'Zix's looking for a pick.
Ooh, Vault Breaker into a few people, but they're not going to go for it.
And this is the kind of weak macro that we've seen before. Kled has teleport, not in the bot lane. You're gonna fight. Banner of Command minion. Here we go.
Let's go.
Boom.
This turret damage.
1. Boom. 2. Boom. 3. Boom. 4.
They don't even have to walk up to the
5.
turret, and they
Boom.
can't deal
6.
damage to
And
it.
the tower's gone.
That is ridiculous. Look at that thing.
Shots.
The only damage that's been on is from Murder Kaiser.
1. 2. 3.
Holy moly, they could keep pushing with that if they want.
Absolutely, they could have, but if Kled was in the bot lane here, this would have been game. But because of that weak macro, they haven't got it yet.
They're still closing it out really quick though, and even with the Frosty Esports focusing that thing down, it's pretty hard to kill.
Absolutely. Banner Command immune to magic damage. Azir can't hit it. Is Banner Command up again? I want to see another one.
Nah, no way. And even if it was, nah. We've seen enough Banner Command this match. 2 more turrets left in the game for Frosty Esports here.
There's nothing Frosty can do. As long as AE don't force engage, there's nothing they can do.
It would literally require here to flash into 5 people and like use Assault and Battery himself in order for that to happen. He'd have to be the one going in.
Oh gosh, this game is way over.
Yeah, this is looking rough. Frosty might want to go in for one last team fight, but Aether...
Infernal Dragon!
Yeah, this looks rough. Actually,
Add
no, this doesn't
insult
even
to
look
injury.
rough. I don't even think this looks possible.
No, this is not possible. This has gone past the point of no return at that Baron fight. And the banner minions kind of made sure it was impossible.
Now, I want to see that in the next game right there. That banner of command minion is ridiculous, but Aether Esports, they pick up the second Infernal, say one more push will do it, and we'll see if they can close before third, eh?
Can we ban Banner of Command in Champ Select? Is that like a champion? Can we like select it as a champion and ban it?
Nah, they
Unfortunate.
can't do that. They probably wish they could, but no, they can't.
Holy. It's longer range than the longest range AD carry.
It is. It's pretty silly, especially since it's tanky too, which doesn't unlike.
8 shots onto an inhibitor tower, and it 100 to zeros it.
Yeah, that is some super scary stuff. We'll see if it makes one last appearance before the game closes out. Aether, they just have to pile down the mid lane. Doesn't matter if they go for the 050, the 131, the 14. Doesn't matter at all. All they need to do is play their cards right, whittle down Frosty a little bit.
Almost
Actually,
100 to zeros this year.
Take Shy Quinn below 50% HP. That's what you need to do. Whittle him down, make him back off the Nexus turret, start focusing it. Inhibitor respawns, but it's going to get taken out a second later, so it didn't mean much at all in Aether. They just have to put their foot out and start to knock on that door.
There are a couple ways to end this game. One is to brute force it right here, right now, which they for sure can do if they pull it off correctly. The risk-free way is to just wait for Baron, get that 3 Baron wave into the Nexus Towers, and that is game itself. Let's see which one they decide to go with.
See which one they decide to go with. Giving Frosty a little bit of respect. Maybe not wanting to risk it here. Shy Queen gets off a combo, but he gets comboed right afterwards. It looks like the minions are being too much of a problem for Frosty Esports to handle. They'll let Aether focus the Nexus turret. The first one will be going down here.
Recon engage!
Has no HP, and the fight's gonna go in favor of Aether. No questions asked on this one. A double kill coming in for Hero. Mordekaiser can't even make it back to the fountain. And Aether Esports, in probably the most convincing game we've seen out of them the entire split, will take game 1 off of Frosty.
Well done, Aether, utilizing that banner bug. Not actually a bug, but actually the removal of a bug, which in itself is now a bug. But keep in mind that only works with the interaction between Baron and Banner. So Banner as an item is very, very bad if you do not have Baron. So that is why buying it is not always necessarily the correct choice, because if you do not get Baron, it's a completely useless item that you burn 2,000 plus gold on.
Absolutely, and we saw it was used to efficiency in this game here. I think all of Aether Esports played very, very well.
Absolutely. Hero could work a little bit on his team fight, but it was clean nonetheless. Gawain poking down their team relentlessly. Overall, team macro could be played a little bit better. There was that one misstep in the mid lane that almost cost them their lead. Ziffy hard engaged a bit too much, and with the composition that they have, they cannot force like that.
But we're being a little nitpicky here when all is said and done, because they still closed out the game very swiftly, very cleanly, and let's look at some of those numbers to see how they did it.
Absolutely. They all played well. Let's go see who has the most damage. Of course, it goes to Gawain on that Zera. 33,000. There's that poke champion. In second place is the Xayah in that team fight. Consistent damage output. 16,400. Still eclipsing any member of Frosty. In fact, the Frosty damage numbers are pitiful, with Vi only gaining about 3,000 damage for his team. 7,000 on the Twitch and barely 14,000 on the Azir. Not great at all.
Yeah, and I have to say, Gwen dealt more damage than there are minutes. If you have 1,000 damage per minute, he dealt 32k, 30 minutes in the game. He was dealing more than 1,000 damage per minute.
He actually
Ridiculous.
almost did more damage than the entire enemy team combined. Adding it up very quickly, that's 10,000 in the bot lane, 24,000 including the mid lane, 27,000 including the Vi, and then around 35,000 accounting for hundreds total. So just 3,000 damage more, and he would have done more damage than the entire Frosty lineup combined.
YIKES coming out of Gwen here, hot on this Xerath performance. Let's scroll down to that self-mitigated damage. And it looks like not a real doctor's gotten. Well, actually, no. Solo Rust has the most there.
Absolutely. Self-mitigated damage being a statistic we take a look at. Let's go see how much damage taken in general there was done. And that is, of course, owned by the Vi. Going in over and over again. Eventually, when you die enough times, that stat climbs up.
Definitely scrolling down to the vision score and the words place, because we all just gotta love us some words. Coming in hot at the highest number is 78 vision score coming out of Ziffy here.
Great vision score compared to his enemy support. 14 higher, around the same amount of wards placed, but more vision control. In general, Law actually had quite a bit of vision control. 35 wards placed on the Kazakhs, while he wasn't exactly the team fight menace that junglers can be, especially making it hard on that Kazakhs. He had the vision to make those fights happen in a way that made it easier for Aether. Great vision score on Law.
Absolutely the case. Aether Esports with a convincing Game 1 over the third seed Frosty Esports. Will Aether be able to pick up their first ever double down in the BSGCS? Or will Frosty Esports turn it around, bringing it to a 1-1? We'll be right back at you with that answer.
Fighting battles we can't win. Can't you see the mess we're in? Choking up on every sin. Your promises don't mean a thing. And when I'm waiting all alone, I need you to take me home. Promises like broken bones, I've been holding on to you. And when I'm waiting all alone, I need you to take me home. Promises like broken bones, I've been holding
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Aether Esports versus Frosty Esports matchup. Aether Esports coming hot with a clean 30-minute game in Game 1. Can they do it again?
Absolutely. Hopefully they can. As we said, cheering for the underdogs, rank 12 in the league versus the third seed. Let's see if they can pull the massive upset 2-0 over Frosty.
Absolutely. Looking for Frosty Esports in Game 1, really shaky out of that team. What do they have to take away from Game 1 and get rid of in Game 2?
First, we need to see how mentally they were affected by it. If we start seeing bans of the champions that were played by AE last game, we know they're a bit on shaky footing in terms of mental stress, but it is happening. Xayah ban on Hero. Usually that indicates that there's a bit of tilt on that side. It just means that most of the time your initial bans are the correct bans, and then once you lose, you start trying to ban what you lost to, and then you forget to ban what you banned initially, and then it's a downward spiral. But let's see how it goes.
Yep, let's see how it goes indeed. So far, bans coming in out of Aether Esports. I don't have to change too much. It's very simple. If it's not broken, you don't really need to fix it. So they're just going to keep with relatively similar bans from last game. For Frosty Esports, though, they do not want to see Xerath.
They don't want to see anything the last game. They want to forget the last game ever existed. Let's see what the first picks are on both sides, see what kind of composition they can go for. Like I said, both comps were extremely weak last game in terms of overall drafting. Let's see if they can make a better attempt in this pick and ban.
Definitely the case, and I want to see if Law's going to go with that Kha'Zix pickup again. It's kind of something you don't see a whole lot on the BSGCS. We saw it whipped out by Blight in one of their games on Piping Esports, but other than that, we really don't see the pick whatsoever.
Absolutely. It's a very feast or famine pick, and go very well or very poorly, and even when it goes well, it's not one of those champions like Skarner, Volibear, those S-tier champions that can just take off. So it is a risky pick in general, in addition to being very mechanically hard to play.
Definitely the case here. Looking for the first pickup by Aether. Kayn. Okay.
Hey, ballsy first pick on that jungler. Let's see if Frosty can respond accordingly, pick a more early game composition to punish this pick.
That is a takeaway from Solaras there. If his name didn't imply it, this guy plays Kayn. So, they're taking that away from him, not in the bans, but they're making sure that he doesn't play it.
Absolutely. In fact, it's very smart that you say that. It's possible that it's one of those ban picks, one of those things that you pick just so the enemy doesn't get it.
And so far I think, after that Kha'Zix performance, I could definitely trust that guy on Kayn.
Absolutely. I think that's a Scion pick in the top lane. We have yet to see whether that's a Trundle pick for top or jungle. We're not sure. Could be flexed either side. That's Galio mid though, for sure. Strong pick across the board. However, we have to see if there's a Camille or Jarvan to complement it. Galio alone is not necessarily a very consistent champion.
Well, and I like it. You're talking Frosty, but I'm liking what Aether are putting down here. Fizz in the middle lane. This is a very hit or miss pick.
Absolutely, and especially picking it after the Galio pick is quite interesting. And I say that again with the first three letters capitalized because Fizz versus Galio, very poor matchup for the Fizz. Cannot kill the Galio, and then you get out-roamed in addition to that.
Galio has the shield, he's got the Winds of War to not only poke, but also farm at a distance. Fizz is going to have some trouble in that matchup, and this is very different from what we usually see Gwen on. We see Gwen on Azir, we see Gwen on Xerath. This is a completely different champion from those two.
Let's see if it makes the difference in that victory or defeat screen. Looking at the bans for the next phase, targeting the Frosty support, not a real doctor. We see Leona and Lulu taken away, and Kog'Maw and Vayne for Hero. Not a lot of AD carries left on the board. Varus taken, Vayne, Cog, Xayah all banned, Tristana banned. There's only a couple of AD carries left. Let's see who Hero manages to pick up.
Yeah, there are a lot of ADCs off the board here. Crucially, I feel Mr. Convenience going to lock in the Jinx pick. It is one of his favorites. It would... Well, actually, he's got to get the
Varus has been picked. Yeah,
Varus.
Maybe in top, locked in for Mordekaiser. So that means that is a Trundle jungle. Going to be an
Okay.
interesting pick. All right.
Well,
Who
I'm
is
not
it gonna
completely
be?
crazy. This could be a Jinx lock in here for
It
Hero.
could be a Jinx lock-in. Absolutely, and
suit his
I would
style.
like it a lot.
Would suit his style, be able to sit back safely. He has a front line to do that. He's got a Janna, and Janna Jinx is really fucking ridiculous. Like,
Oh, the
ouch.
Twitch! No, don't do it!
Oh no. Okay.
The-
Well,
The weaknesses of that pick were shown last game and are evident everywhere else. Twitch is not a great pick. It's going to cripple this comp quite a bit in terms of early game. And when you pick a Fizz and you're looking for that early power, this is a very confused composition.
I'm not. This is really ballsy out of Aether because you have Twitch late game, and you have Fizz mid to late game. So if they lose the laning phase in either their mid lane or the bot lane, 50-50,
Absolutely.
then the other one has to pop off because Sion, alright, he's not going to smash to Renekton on the early game, and Kayn, yeah, he can be a menace, but how much is he going to be a menace really? This is very risky out of Aether, and we'll see if they can pull it off.
Absolutely. Kayn being one of the weakest early game junglers without his form in terms of dueling is clear, sure is great, but in terms of fighting, he has nothing. Fizz having that early game and mid game power, but dropping off significantly in the late game. Sion, of course, being that early game, mid game power as well. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm really keeping an eye on this Varus Nami bot lane. If they play this correctly, they can solo kill Twitch Janna so easily. Still, no Ignite coming out from either bot support. Pretty big mistakes.
Well, I can see it on Ziffy and the Janna because really Janna with Ignites just automatically, it makes you question a few things.
Absolutely, especially with the
if you
Twitch.
already have a Fizz with the
Twitch.
Ignite.
Absolutely.
I think Not a Real Doctor could have taken it on the Nami here. It wouldn't have been bad. What do you think on it?
I think it's definitely necessary. When you take an exhaust in this matchup, it severely cripples your kill pressure, especially against Janna Twitch, where that Ignite cancels out their heal and does some more damage on top. We'll see if it plays a factor. If either Twitch or Janna escape with a couple health points left, we know what the culprit is, but a big part of this game is going to be in this mid lane. Very scrappy when you have two mid lane melee champions, so let's see what happens between the Fizz and the Galio.
Yeah. Now, I definitely like the bot lane, even though it doesn't have Ignite, and even though it's definitely saying we need an exhaust for the Kayn and the Fizz, and maybe the Twitch later on in the game. I like it. It's got a lot of poke, it's got a lot of sustain, it's very
Absolutely.
annoying, and it's definitely gonna be able to punish the Twitch.
Varus, Nami, both champions very strong in general right now. Varus having one of the longer ranges, having good burst damage and good range. Pretty good shape. I am interested to see how this Trundle jungle works out, though. I don't know. I've been a little bit new to the Duo League, but he's definitely not played anywhere else. In the jungle, having some slow clear times in terms of AoE, single target is okay. Dueling potential is okay, but like I said, he's okay. Let's see how the enemy Aether team can take advantage of that lackluster jungle pick.
Yeah, we'll see how Frosty Esports can handle everything they got going for them so far. They have a lot of tank. That's my biggest concern with this team. They have a lot. They have Renekton, they have Trundle, they have Galio. Like, this team is very tanky, which is a good thing, but at the same time, it's putting a lot onto Mystic Convenience, because you're expecting your damage to come out of Renekton, to come out of Trundle, to come out of Galio. Maybe, but honestly, your main source of damage is the Varus.
Absolutely, and we're talking late game here. They might just get run over by the power of that Twitch, so they have to close out this game mid-game, or they're going to be in some trouble as that Twitch scales up, unless, of course, mispositions are made, which can turn the fight in anyone's favor.
Definitely the case. Now, I say tank, but some people are a little unorthodox, and they say, tank, let me make that damage. If there were anyone on the first esports lineup that were actually going to change their build from tanky to more damage-oriented, who would it be?
Definitely going to see some damage coming out of that Renekton. We're looking for Hydras, we're looking for Black Cleaver, we're looking for those off-tank bruiser items, and if he gets ahead, there's absolutely no one on the Aether Esports lineup that can actually deal with him. So I want to see this Rost Trundle pick focus this Scion hard. I want to pressure the Scion hard. Kayn cannot respond. And if this Renekton gets ahead, that can be their win condition. Not even worrying about who's in the bot lane.
So you're saying Renekton should definitely go full damage?
Not necessarily full damage. Full damage, of course, being more of a Ravenous Hydra. You're perhaps a Black Cleaver, but you're also constantly building more and more AD into your build. You have Yomu's or Duskblade or Edge of Night. Possibly more into the off-tank side with a Titanic Hydra, Black Cleaver, possibly a Sterix Gauge. More of a tankier style builds that allows for more errors rather than the one-shot your enemy team if you don't make any mistakes kind of build.
Definitely the case here. We'll see which one of these teams is able to come out bigger in game 2 out of 2 here. Frosty Esports on the blue side, Aether Esports on the red side. If Aether are able to close this one out with the W, after 7 weeks, they might just have their first 2-0.
Absolutely. Gotta cheer in the chat. Post hashtag AE win or hashtag, what's Frosty's initials again?
FST.
FST. Because it can't be hashtag Frosty win.
Nah, that's too long.
It's gotta be a hashtag warm win.
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe, maybe not. Either way, looking at this matchup here, in the mid lane, what opportunities do you feel that the Fizz has to get ahead?
Against the Galio, almost nothing. So what they're looking for is to find some good roams from this Fizz up to the top side. We've seen Gawain in some scrims roaming hard at the detriment of his own XP and gold level. So if he's able to pull things off like that, it's risky, but it can get him ahead. We'll see if he does the same in this game.
Yeah, we will see. I don't expect a lot to happen in the mid lane because Shaiquin is one of the mid laners I would definitely say is consistent in the league, and also because he's fought in Galio, he doesn't have to be dueling the Fizz as much as he has to be just poking him out in the laning phase.
Absolutely. There's almost no way for Fizz to kill the Galio.
In which case, if I'm at the Fizz,
yeah.
I want to make sure that Winds of War isn't taking out half of my HP whenever I go up to farm.
It's already happening. Look at Gawain's HP. He's at 75%.
Yikes. Well.
In the top lane, Renekton attempting to bully the Scion out. Got all 6 CS of the first wave. Always a nice feeling as the laner AE Law coming in for a level 2 gank on the Galio mid lane.
Well, this is pretty interesting. There's
This
a
is a
Justice
Justice
Punch. That's a very low health Galio. It's gonna get taken out. Oh, there it is! Gwaine with the last tick of the Sea Stone Trident, able to pick up first blood.
Massive misplay from Shaiquin on Galio. Justice punching in the wrong direction. Then flashing way too late, still getting hit by the Kayn W, his only source of damage in the early game. Kayn with the unorthodox pathing. Raptors Reds mid lane gank at level 2. Pays off massive, and now Gawain, as we said, no way to kill the Galio. Well, Law is here to help.
Definitely. Goes in for another trade. Goes not so even, but still, once again, first blood. Now in favor of Gwaine, some good stuff to come out in the mid lane, and that's a lot of pressure off of Aether.
Keep an eye on this bot lane. Law's here. Trundle is not in position to intercept a possible bot gank. Law engaging with this Galio? No, not quite.
No, not quite. Just an eye-to-eye in the river, pretty much. Not much to come of it, really. Both junglers now know where the other is.
Keep in mind that Gawain, with that first blood, not actually any amount ahead of this Galio until he backs and spends that gold. So at this point, the lane is technically still even. Justice Punch lands.
Ooh, takes him very low on this one. Not able to get the passive auto attack, though. It's just going to force Gwaine back with 1,000 gold on his pocket. That's not too bad.
Actually, a slight mechanical misplay from the Galio. Queued too close to him. If he queued just a bit in front, that was either a flash or a kill on that Fizz.
Definitely the case. Checking stock up. For the lanes are playing out so far that are not the mid lane, bot lane, pretty even, if not actually ahead for CS for Mr. Convenience over Hero. Some good pressure to come out of the Nami Varus, and looking up in the top lane, in terms of CS it's even, but in terms of pressure, Mordekaiser has it hands down.
Absolutely, that Renekton a massive lane bully in the early game. Sion running out of mana, no pots left available in that corrupting potion. Going to have a lot of CS missed in these next couple of minutes as he attempts to gain anything he can. Fizz looking for that top lane roam, as I said. He's roaming to the enemy jungle now, trying to get some vision. Will he go for the top roam? Nah, he's going to stay in the middle. Not going for those risky plays in the duo esports matches.
Nah. As we saw in game 1, very, very calm for the first few minutes. Neither team was willing to go for the risky play. They waited for the other to mess up. I think this one a little much the same.
I'm really disappointed in Frosty's bot lane, though, as we were talking about in Champ Select. Varus Nami being significantly stronger than Twitch Janna, but the CS differential is only at 5, with no HP differential to really talk about. Kane fighting the Trundle in the top river.
Dude. Skirmish in the river here. It may go in favor of Aether Esports here. It will be the flash away from Solorast as the damage goes on to Shy Quinn right afterwards. Do they have enough
coming
to
up?
close him out here? There's the jump through, but the Galio's too tanky with the magic shield and will be able to walk away.
So that skirmish was won by the Kane Fizz duo. Not even close, really. It's going to get them even more ahead in these next couple of minutes. In the top lane, DeWay and Mordekaiser slowly getting more and more HP taken away from each other. I want to see Mordekaiser Q away. Oh, the King comes in from low.
This could be very, very bad for Mordekaiser. Pops the dominance, but he's going to get turned into mincemeat right afterwards. One more auto would do it. There's the flash. Swirl to come out of law. Picks up the kill. And now... You've got to be kidding now. They're going to kill him for that one for sure. Solorast picks up the kill. Not going to let that happen.
Slightly misplayed from Mordekaiser. If he played that correctly, he could have actually 2v1'd Law and DeWay. But not having the mechanical prowess nor the game knowledge to pull that off. Law comes in for the gank. Oh, Gawain coming for the bottom room. He is level 6 with both Flashing Knight up. Can he get a kill? Fish does not land. That's a failed gank.
Yeah, it's not gonna be able to pay off the way they wanted it to. Doesn't land the fish on top of the fish. Not playing Go Fish today. As Gawain is able to just waltz back up to the mid lane.
What a horrific backtimer from AE. What are they doing? They just screwed themselves so hard.
Ooh, yeah, that is a little suspect, to put it one way.
Oh my. Gawain came and got them the greatest gift that they could have gotten. That's not a kill. Gained them lane pressure. They could have pushed that wave in, reset the wave, crashed it against the tower, and backed. But now they just killed 3 waves of their own. That might actually affect this game.
I mean, that's definitely going to affect the game. See how much it affects the outcome, or it definitely stopped what could have been happening for Aether there. Not the greatest of backs, as Frosty are now the ones with the lane pressure.
Wave is pushing towards the blue side bot lane. Galio might be looking for an ultimate possibility here.
Roaming
Varus
down
is not level 6.
Heroic entrance, but Varus will hit 6 pretty soon, I'd say.
Just a couple more minions and he will get that level 6. Galio's here for the gank. There is no vision for the red side.
I think they're making it a little too obvious. Frosty are going up a little too far forward, and I think Aether start to pick on. Wait a second, this is a little fishy. Why are you going that aggressive? As now they understand why. They know the Galio was roaming down. The Shy Quinn goes right back up to the mid.
Yeah, great ward by Ziffy there. Sees the gank coming. Convenience hits level 6. They might go for the all here. Bubble goes wide.
Bubble goes wide, but the Chain of Corruption doesn't, and it's going to be a lot of damage on a Ziffy right afterwards. Gets run over by the Tsunami up in the top lane. DeWay taken low from this one. Will get taken out and not able to pick up a return kill. There is the Sharkaroo to come right on top of Mr. Convenience. Gwaine looking to make the play down here on this one. Pick up a kill. Flashes the Justice Punch and will be able to toss the Ignite. Goes over for the double kill. Looking for a triple now with the Playful Trickster. And what do you know, Aether Esports turn it right on its head.
Massive play, and as we said, how is the Fish gonna get ahead with that Galio in the mid lane? This is how he gets ahead. However, Frosty trade right back with that kill on Dway and first tower blood. This Cloud Drake is not worth the trade in this aspect. So even after all that, Frosty has the gold lead.
The gold lead in favor of Frosty Esports, but the long-term benefits, I'd say, in favor of Aether, picking up the Cloud Dragon before the 10-minute marker.
Absolutely, and this Fizz 4-0, keep in mind he only has 64 CS, so he's not going to be the menace that he could be. Has the Proto Belt completed. See if he can win a mid-game fight for AE. Once that happens, the pace will be theirs, but until then, it's still anyone's game.
Definitely the case, and looking at this constant back and forth, Rift Herald could be in massive benefit of either of these teams here. Which one do you think will be able to go for it?
It would be definitely a much bigger benefit for AE, especially with that Gawain in the mid lane, a massive presence. He can definitely one-shot either Varus or Nami and half health the Trundle easily.
Definitely.
But like we said, oh sorry.
No, definitely able to do so. I'm agreeing with you.
Like we said though, that one back timer from this Twitch is going to delay his power spike even more, and keep in mind that Varus' power spike is at the 1 item mark at that Ginsu's Rage Blade. Twitch needs 2. It's going to make this game very hard if they ever want to make a play bot side, so they have to play this top side.
Yeah, definitely would have to do that as the Scuttle Crab goes over to Gwaine here, but he takes the worst end of the trade, already using the Playful Trickster. Law is over to come here. The Shark's not going to be able to land, but Dway's going to fly right in there with the decimating smash on the 2 people. Gwaine taken low from this one. Looks like he might just get taken out as well. Not will be able to do so as the rest of Frosty Esports turn right around the corner, and Renekton shuts him down. Now Dway taken low, taken out. The Scion passive shields might just have been enough to save him, but the same may not be able to set for Law on this one. Justice might be going down. No, it won't. He will be able to get out, as it's just the 1 kill onto the Fizz.
Absolutely, and that was a massive kill to get for the Frosty side. In fact, that 1 kill could actually win them the game. Killing the 1 member of AE that is a threat, shutting him down for a couple minutes, could be the catalyst for a massive run over by the Frosty side. We'll have to see how it checks out. That ult missing on Gawain was a massive misplay. One of his biggest abilities at this moment in the game. And like I said, because his farm is low, he's not as strong as he should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a little ambitious to Playful Trickster onto the Scuttle Crab just to secure that.
It happens again?
Happens again. Not going to happen exactly how it played out, but the Rift Herald does go over to Frosty. Yeah.
Absolutely. And now that Gawain has been put behind and is now not as ahead as he was before, more weight is now put on Hero's shoulders to carry this into the mid and late game, and while 25 CS behind, it may be too difficult. We'll have to see how it plays out. Gawain with the roam bot lane.
Danger pings are thrown down though in the control wards. Enough fish food for Gawain to not continue to go down towards the bottom lane. Picks up the control ward, backs off, and might just get himself 2 here.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the farm levels really quickly. In the top lane, 94 CS for both top laners. Not super great. Pretty even. Jungler's Kayn is ahead. Once this Kayn gets his form. Oh, he has red form now. That can actually turn the next fight. Off that one top lane fight, he has gotten darkened form.
Has the Rost form in the bottom lane, waiting for Frosty Esports to flex their muscles a little too much on this one. 111 to 84 CS, definitely feeling confident, but do you feel confident enough? 4 members of Aether Esports are right around the corner. Looks like they do back off.
Fizz going for this gank actually deterred their bot lane, offsetting his own Kayn's gank. Quite a big misplay. All he had to do was not play any suspiciously and let that Kayn get that gank off, but has the window closed for now. Fizz is really trying to force this.
Oh, they really are. Chain of Corruption thrown on him very early on. Law's gonna come around.
Nope, missed.
Ooh, that's not the catch of the day to put it one way. There's the subjugate onto him. Neither team really wants to go in on this one as they both back off each other. Dewey is caught on as Lonesome in a 1v3 here, taken very low from this one. There's the Monsoon and the tidal wave. Heroic entrance comes flying down. No one wants to fight this one, but that's exactly what they're doing. A great tornado out of Ziffy is going to deter the fight finally as both of these teams back off.
Wow, almost a lot of action, yet no action at the same time. Actually, one of the reasons why AE lost that top lane fight so hard was because Law had not had his form yet. One of the most useless champions before that point. Does no damage and has no CC.
Definitely not. I see that with that Rift Herald, they are going to be able to pick up the bot lane turret. Maybe go for a dive. Actually, no, that'd be suicidal.
Look at the mid lane. Galio gets knocked up.
Gets knocked up. Nothing more to come of it. And Frosty Esports are making the best of what they have here. Making the best of the Rift Herald. Still at 2,600 HP. Gets knocked down to 700 right afterwards. But Fizz has no mana, so Frosty can keep pushing.
Absolutely. This Fizz being out of mana is a useless champion. He can only auto attack. Galio getting the mid lane chip damage, and that's almost 2 towers taken by Frosty. AE is collapsing.
Absolutely they are. Still though, even though the game's very much teetering back and forth, it is a 2,000 gold lead in favor of Frosty Esports.
Big part of that was that first tower blood. Dewey dying to that 2-man tower dive while that bot lane play went down was a pretty big misplay.
Oh my.
Mid lane tower falls. What is this macro?
What
no one
is
knows
this
what
macro?
To do.
Question mark? They're just gonna let the minions finish it off. That was all too simple of a task for Frosty Esports. It looks like the turret doesn't go down. A little too confident. Come on, guys. But it's 57 HP.
That's one Varus auto.
That's one Varus auto. It may as well not be there, actually, as that's...
Uh-oh. Fish lands.
The fish lands on the Renekton, pops the dominance right afterwards. Chain of Corruption to lock up the members of Aether Esports on this one. Hero doing good damage in the back line, but the front line of Frosty is way too strong on this one. Able to pick up the kill and get out as well.
I think it's funny you said Hero doing good damage because he actually does no damage. He was shooting for 8 seconds there and didn't kill anyone. This is the problem with that Twitch pick.
That is the problem with the Twitch pick. The exhaust thrown down onto Law. They're definitely afraid of that Kane.
Law is really their only hope to keep them in this. All they have to do is survive until Twitch hits that 4 items, 3 items power spike. But I don't know if they can get there. They have to play this correctly. They survived that fight by the skin of their teeth.
Definitely, and that should have been a little bit more of a win for Frosty, I feel. It's just going to tie the scoreboard up, and Aether Esports, they're the ones that are on control with the Dragons, because Ocean Dragon, gotta love that.
Big part of the reason why Frosty wasn't able to wipe the AE squad there is because their composition sucks. They have no way of getting onto the enemy carries unless it's a very tight situation in the first place. And many team fights like that one are pretty spread out, where you have the backline firing and the frontline frontlining. So what I would have loved to see from this Frosty lineup was some dive, but they don't really have it.
I would love to see some dive too, and on more of a personal note, I would have loved to see some boots of swiftness, or anything actually, just boots in general, on Not a Real Doctor, on this Nami pickup. It appears, once again, who needs boots?
Who needs boots when you're not a real doctor? Apparently it's not part of his medical book, because he never buys them.
Does not whatsoever. As just one auto, 2 autos from Shy Quinn, takes out the middle turret.
Look at that Renekton. He has his Black Cleaver completed. He is a very big crocodile. This can turn the next fight if they force it.
There's the double knockup, repels the fight, out of Law, able to land it right there, and Frosty Esports return back to the mid lane.
His Twitch still not hitting, not even one item completed yet. And even then, he won't be able to do anything.
Gwen able to playful Trickster out of trouble there. Might just go for the turn. No, just scares him off with the Proto Belt.
One of the problems with the Protobelt itemization rather than the Lich Bane is he has really no kill pressure at this point. He opted for more wave clear over kill pressure. It's coming to bite him. Fish misses.
Goes one on that one. That's another tool for Aether to try and pick up a fight. Down on this one, and slowly but surely we're starting to see this gold lead start to affect the matchup. It's now 3,000 in favor of Frosty.
Absolutely, and they really do not want to take a fight at this point. If Aether takes a fight, they will get wiped. That's a Black Cleaver completed for the Renekton, Ginsu's Rage Blade, and Abyssal Mask. Oh, the fight begins!
Oh, go for the Playful Trickster on an interesting position as the Chain of Corruption comes through, locks up a little bit of them. There's the Sign Ultimate,
Teleport
goes
Renekton.
straight into the mid laner of Frosty Esports, taking down this one, but Mordekaiser's looking to get good damage on the backline. Now it will be Mr. Convenience taking out Gwen as Mordekaiser's handling 4 men all on his own here. He will be able to back off and survive as the rest of the team comes around the corner. Tornado right on top of Trundle. Solaros going down this one. Dewey picks up the kill with the decimating smash. And so far, it is a 2-for-1 actually in favor of Aether.
Incredible fight for Aether at that point in the game. Like I said, under all circumstances, they should have lost, but because the Renekton was out of position, did not teleport in time, and the Varus was out of position as well, it made the fight extremely difficult.
Oh, wait a second. They're able to cancel the slice, prevent him from doing the dice. No way that they're letting Mordekaiser get in there. And that's the disengage for Aether.
Huge fight. A lot of work coming out from that Janna. Keeping the team healthy with the redemption and her ultimate. Gotta give her props for that. A lot of that work was done by her. Twitch is going to complete an item on this back, probably IE and some component of Zeal.
Definitely the case, and I kind of questioned the Janna pick at the start. I was thinking, alright, you got something good with the Janna, you don't have the greatest AD carry to complement it with her, at least not in the early stages. We're starting to see the team fight prowess of the Janna pickup definitely work them.
Absolutely, they work great together everywhere except for laning phase, and they did get rollover in the laning phase, but the Varus Nami, like I said, they didn't punish it nearly as hard as they should have. Even after that massive backing mishap for Aether, they're only 5 CS behind.
Yeah, only, and 5 CS at this stage, not really much at all. Looks like Wayne might be in trouble though. Playful Trickster's at the wrong time. Mordekaiser needs one more hit to do it, but he's not going to be able to get it.
And one thing to note is that the Varus is strong at the Ginsu's power spike, but once Twitch hits 2 items, he's outscaled you. So once this Twitch hits 2 items, they can easily take this game back.
Definitely, they'll be able to do that. However, while we're looking at taking the game back, Frosty Esports say, alright, well, we're the ones with the turrets, you guys ain't. They're going to look for the 4th one of the game.
Bot tower falls. They're looking for an engage. Kane is here. Decides not to do.
They done. Aether Esports committed 3 people down there in the bottom lane. They're not going to get punished for it, but a little too many resources, I would say.
This is a great example of why a lead is not as big when you all farm poorly. If the Frosty side had 200 farm on the Galio, 200 farm in the Renekton, 200 farm in the Varus, this game, that fight, as bosh as it was, would have been won. With their massive leads, it was definitely possible, but because of micro mishaps, missing farm, and macro mishaps, backing at the wrong time, for all players across the board in both teams, you have lower and lower farm levels as the rank of the team goes down.
Yeah, definitely the case, and after game 1, you're thinking, where's this team from game 1? They're trying to play a little bit more cautious, a little bit more safe, and while they're able to do that, they Aether Esports in 12th place, they can only afford a single tie. They can afford 1 tie, and that's it. Every other matchup, they have to 2-0. So far, after game 1, they looked great. They looked like, alright, 2-0 the 3rd seed? Excellent. So far, in game 2, they are much, much more cautious.
They were able to pull the trigger, though, as we saw. When Renekton was out of position, they did pull the trigger, so hopefully all hope is not lost.
hopefully not the Cinderella story, would certainly be a daily duo headliner if they're able to pull it off, and it's got to start here with Frosty.
Dragon started. They're focusing down the Galio here, it looks. Galio justice punches into 5 people!
Ooh, boy, that's not what he was looking for, but he's tanky enough to be able to get away and occupy Aether Esports while the rest of Frosty pick up the Ocean Dragon. The second one, or first one in the game as the tidal wave comes through.
Here comes
Not
the
gonna be able to
engage.
land. A 3-man decimating smash out of the way, but he's all alone on this one, so it's not gonna matter. Mr. Convenience picks up the kill.
Actually, a massive misplay from the side of AE. That Galio was alone. They could have killed him, but they just looked at him as they took that tower. Didn't even bring it down. 41
Yeah.
HP.
They were split on the call there. It was Gwaine that was going in. The rest of the team was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, going in. Not on the same page for Aether, but Frosty, looks like they have Aether's number on this one. And
Big
Gwaine's on
card.
the wrong side. Uh-oh, that could be really bad.
This is a 4v5. 4v4. Varus is in the bot lane.
Neither team actually fully committing, though, which means Twitch ult gets burned. And the spray and pray is not actually used efficiently, so these fights are very weird.
They could have won that fight. They didn't realize it was a 4v4 as we first missed as well. Varus actually went bot to clear the wave. Massive misplay from the Varus. No communication whatsoever on either team. If they committed fully to that fight, that was a wipe. They had no damage.
They didn't, and both of these teams are raising a lot of question marks right here. It's a 4,000 gold lead for Frosty Esports, but it's not being accelerated much outside the fact that they have turrets.
It's being helped along by the fact that both teams are misplaying quite heavily. Let's take a look at the Twitch itemization. He has hit the 3-item mark with the boots included, so 2 items without, and he has definitively outscaled the Varus at this point in time. However, it's going to be delayed slightly by the fact that Nami did rush Ardent Sensor. So, in terms of individual power between the Twitch and Varus, Varus is for now stronger. But once the Ardent is completed by the Janna, the bot lane will have more power on AE's side. So we'll see how the rest of the team plays it on each team.
You'll have to see how that turns out. So far, in terms of AD carry damage output, who do you feel is doing more?
So, as I was saying, because of the Ardent Sensor, Varus will slightly outdamage the Twitch at this point in game. But once the Ardent is completed for the Janna, the Twitch will win. For the rest of the game as well.
For the rest of the game? Alright, sounds like the plan for Aether Esports, and first you're certainly letting them stall 27
Oh
minutes
no!
matchup. Defensive chum the waters out of Gwaine. Definitely speaks to the mindset that these two teams are in right now.
Absolutely, and as the chat mentioned, there's a lot of healing on this side of Frosty. You have Renekton Q, Trundle, Ultimate, and Nami heal, so an Executioners must be bought at some point in time. This is a Baron call. What a suspect Baron call. Baron is attacking away.
Oh no. This could be really, really bad. They're not doing a whole lot of
AE
damage
is
to
not
the
in
Baron at
position.
all. Aether Esports in perfect position. If Frosty are dealing 4 mana on the Baron, Tidal Wave's gonna go through all of Aether Esports on that one. It will be Hero firing off on the back line as Gwaine forces 4 members leading Frosty Esports on a leash here. Goes down finally right afterwards, but the rest of Aether are right on top of the ball with this one. Hero needs to be able to kite back in the fight. The expunge will not be enough to take it out. There it is. Piercing arrow just gonna scrape him on the back half. Mordekaiser will shut him down. Now looks for another kill. Locked up with the tornado. Won't be able to get it. They shut him down as he dices through, and it is 4 kills for 3 in favor of Aether.
It was a massive misplay by Gawain in that fight. Was fighting the Renekton for most of it, not getting to put any damage off. And then the flash tornado from Ziffy, completely useless, put him in a bad spot, and burning the tornado that would have saved Twitch from the Renekton. But as I was saying, once that Renekton gets going, it's very hard for Aether's comp to do anything about it. What a team fight!
Yeah, that was really sketch out of both teams, but it's now gonna neutralize the gold by a lot. That is now, we were talking how the gold could have accelerated, how it could have all gone banned for Aether, but now it's only 2,000.
That Baron call, keep in mind that once the Baron auto attacks you, your MR and armor are decreased. So Hero did more damage than he really should have in that fight.
Mm-hmm. When we were talking about the healing so much before, well, Hero says, okay, I have healing to deal with, I'll pick up an Executioner's Calling, and I love that buy.
Absolutely. However, look at Hero Summoner spells. Flash and Heal not available for 3, 4, 5 minutes. So in the next fight, if Renekton gets on top of him, he is a goner.
Do you think that being the case, should that be the
Oh, they're
bell
starting
for
Baron
Frosty?
again.
Alright, I was going to ask you if they should be doing this, but it looks like they're going to be doing it either way on this one.
They actually have 0 vision control. There's 0 pink wards on the side of Frosty.
2 men knocked up in the Baron, but your Aether Esports are in perfect
Which is
position
here.
to ruin Frosty's day here.
Twitch is firing.
There's the damage. Hero firing in the backline. Mordekaiser
up.
occupying most of Aether, though, and splitting them up in this team fight here. Now, Law to go in. Hero to reposition. Mordekaiser does go down in the fight. Now, the damage on the Trundle will get shut down by Law, and it's the 2 kills for Aether and possibly the Baron control.
There's absolutely 0 communication going on in Frosty's lineup right now. Fizz was fighting the Nami. No one responded. No one was hitting the Fizz except for the Varus. The 2 frontliners for Frosty were just trying to fight AE, wondering, where's my damage? Where's my damage? While Varus is occupied with the Fizz. All they had to do was kill the Fizz first and then go on to the rest of the fight. They're enough ahead that they could do that, but now there's only 1k gold lead for Frosty, and Infernal Dragon might go to AE.
Might and it absolutely will. There's the Infernal and the 3rd Dragon for Aether Esports. As the game's getting longer and longer, as you're pointing out, it's looking like the comms between these teams are getting shakier and shakier.
Absolutely, and even AE didn't play that fight properly at all. The Janna was dove by the Renekton, and no one was helping her at the beginning. They were split up across this wall nearby the Baron pit, and so half of the team was fighting another half. It was very disorganized. However, on to the next fight, as it will happen soon, undoubtedly. Let's take a look at the itemizations for both teams. For Renekton, we have Black Cleaver, of course, being completed. Titanic Hydra. The next item looks like a Sterax Gauge. Sterax Gauge, like I was talking about at the beginning of the game, one of those off-tank items. Scion having completed Spirit Visage and the Sunfire Cape, splitting between the Bramble Vest and the Kindle Gem, so he's not going to complete an item for quite a while. Trundle has the Spirit Visage and the Cinderhulk. Going to be a tank, but not as tanky as the Scion, so he will take damage when his ultimate is not available. If he ults the Scion, they're in good shape.
Yeah, and this Renekton, as we've seen in the team fights, has been able to occupy a lot of Aether after drawing a lot of attention, getting a few people on him, but the reposition in that last fight really did not go in favor of Frosty.
Absolutely, and Renekton is really one of the people that can really punish Fizz's aggression in these team fights, but because he's constantly trying to kill Janna, which is never really a great quest to have as a bruiser that doesn't do that much damage, he's really losing his team, these team fights with his positioning. Twitch now is approaching. He's building Black Cleaver. Here we go again.
Yikes.
Not Black Cleaver. Blade of the Ruined King, I should say.
Blade of the Ruined King. Black Cleaver would be really spicy. But
really spicy.
with Twitch, he's about to have his flash back up.
Oh boy, with that flash up, there's almost no way. Oh no, he's caught up by the Trundle.
Goes invisible though, tries to juke around it, but goes straight into it. Gets
The
around
team is
rest.
here.
The team is there. The tidal wave comes through. They focus down Solorast with a lot of resources on top of him. He still hasn't died just yet. They've gone very deep on this one as the bubble locks up the Fizz. Gwane's gonna be dead on this one. Flashes away, still gets taken out by the Kuldameek. Hero, now you have to live up to your name and be the hero that Aether needs. The knockup on towards Mordekaiser. The Crocodile's not gonna go down this one, or at least not just yet, and the rest of Aether pile on top of them.
And they have been successfully outscaled. And that should be the game. There should be no way for Frosty to overcome this Twitch at this point. The Blade of the Ruined King itemization will hurt Twitch's damage. I really don't know why people keep buying this item when the Shiv is so much stronger. But regardless, this Twitch is a menace that no one on the Frosty lineup can get to, and Varus just cannot deal with these assassins easily enough. with these botched positioning in these team fights. Renekton, Galio, neither of them really know what to do other than fight, fight, fight.
Yeah, they're not. Yep, definitely the case there, and the fight, fight, fight is now in favor of Aether, as they're the ones with the 3,000 gold lead.
Absolutely. Baron buff being secured. There is an Infernal, Ocean, and a Cloud in their pocket. Blade of the Rune King not completed for the Twitch yet. I would like to see him back and get that before the next fight, if possible.
Uh-oh. It's... Yeah, actually, no, they're fine. It's definitely a positional advantage for Aether Esports, though. They finally pick up their second turret of the game. And
Fish lands!
Fish lands, but chooses not to go on it. It's just going to be a trade of ultimates between the fish.
It was a bit of a panic ultimate from the Nami.
Oh, they're looking for the catch, but then they forget Mordekaiser is very, very tanky. All they have to do is knock on the turret just a little bit. May have won a banner of command this time, but they don't have it here.
If they want to take a fight, this is the time to do it. Twitch has not completed his 4th item yet, and Renekton has.
The pillar goes down, it's just going to split them up a little bit. Neither team looking for the fight just yet, even if they need it or they don't.
This is the time to do it. Fizz has no ultimate. Oh, it's coming up. It is up. They engage right when Fizz has it.
There it is. There's the stopwatch to come through out of Gwen. Firing from the back line with the Baron buff. Aether doing so much damage. The Monsoon knocks him back as the Mordekaiser goes way too close. Dewey will get taken out in the process. So it's just a 1-for-none in favor, or a 1-for-1 when it's all said and done. The turret goes down, and Aether back off.
Massive miscommunication from the Renekton and the rest of this team. They all converged on the Scion in that front, and he just dove 1v4.
You know, as messy as these fights are, Aether are the ones that are getting the wins in them. Even if they're
Absolutely.
1-for-1s, 2-for-1s, they're getting turrets off of that, which is accelerating that gold lead for them. And with the Dragon to be up soon, that could definitely affect the outcome of the match.
Well, I think this should be completely secured for AE, considering the 4th item for Twitch has been completed, and there's only Varus on the side of Frosty. So eventually, once Varus goes down, it's all over.
Definitely the case. 37 minutes in. That's a good gold lead for Aether, but doesn't mean a whole lot at this stage.
This is their chance to come back. Gawain is in the top lane with no teleport. There are 4 members doing the Elder Dragon.
Oh, no.
Reaction? There is no reaction from Frosty. They're letting it happen.
They're letting it happen. No chance of escape.
Galio dies!
Galio!
There are 2 members of the Dragon Pit!
Oh no, what are you doing, Frosty? That is not what you want at all. Elder Dragon and a kill over to Aether Esports, 12-19. Well,
They can end right here. Nope,
they're not
Kane has to
going
do blue buff.
Nah,
Kane has to do blue buff. You have to get blue buff before you end. Everyone knows.
Must be. Let's see, on the checklist. You can't end the game without the blue buff.
Or wolves, or raptors, or grump.
Yep, you need everything. But another turret now for Aether, and we're talking 10 minutes ago. They had a turret lead, now they don't, as it's completely neutralized.
Absolute Varus ult lands on the Janna.
Lands on
Galio's not up. This is a 4v5.
This could be really bad for them on this one. Frosty Esports are not dealing damage. Mordekaiser tries to get into the backline, but gets monsooned out of there. Taken out shortly afterwards. Law picks up the kill. Now it's going to be the same story all over again. Shyquin gets way too close. And that is 3 more kills for Aether Esports, and that might just be it.
And that's the game. Like we said, the Frosty lineup had to push the lead that they accumulated at the beginning of the game, and they were not able to. So over the course of time, as Twitch got more and more items, they got more and more outscaled. This is their composition coming back to bite them.
Draxier, it's not the game. Aether Esports back off. They're not going to make the game. Every time you say it, both teams like, no, we can't let this be the game. We cannot let you be correct.
We cannot end. They don't want to
No.
happen. It doesn't want to happen. They're 3
Yeah.
dead and they didn't end the game. Oh no.
No, they didn't. They gotta get that
No.
top turret though. Have to make sure that they have more turrets at the end of the game. It's on the checklist.
Oh, it is on the checklist. So red buff's next. Here we go.
Yep, there we go,
Come
red
on,
buff.
Kenny. Go for it. Hey!
Alright, so game should be over for Aether, but it's not. However, can Frosty come back from a 10,000 gold deficit 40 minutes into the match?
Not with this composition. It's all but over. Like you said in the last game, Hero would have to go into the enemy team 1v5 and pull a double lift. And even then, he would only die once, and there's no Baron or Elder up for them to take, so they wouldn't get anything off of it.
Well, Baron is up in a little over a minute, but the game should close out before the teams can contest that.
Absolutely. Let's keep an eye on Hero in these team fights. He is the person to watch. All the damage from AE is coming from that guy. Gawain positioning a little bit forward, getting caught by the pillar. Has Playful Trickster. Ult goes down.
Ulti goes down, the bubble goes wide, but Gawain able to stopwatch in time during the fight. Playful Trickster's out of there as the damage goes straight on towards Shyquin, taken out of this one automatically. Gawain pops his head right back up as now Varus gets taken low, taken out, a double kill for Hero, and that should be it.
That Varus frontlining, although it doesn't matter, it's not his fault. It's all over.
It's all. Now there's no way it isn't. You have 2 tanks and a support. There's no way that that's enough of a defense for Frosty.
And like we said, Hero free fire that entire fight. Renekton gets on top of the Twitch.
For a last second turn for Frosty Esports, not gonna happen today. Hero goes dominating. Nexus Tower number 1 goes down. Nexus Tower number 2 goes down. And Aether Esports, finally, it took them 7 weeks, but they will 2-0 their first opponent and upset the 3rd seed Frosty Esports.
What a game.
What a game. What a series. 41 minutes. It finally happened.
Absolutely. Gotta give credit to Hero holding in his reins, waiting for those power spikes. I still don't like that Blade of the Ruined King, but you know, things to improve on. Definitely could have played better on both sides. Some very, very messy play coming in from both teams. But AE pulling the victory, the 2-0 upset.
Absolutely needed victory for Aether Esports here. That's going to bump them up to 5 points, I believe. Pretty good stuff. They're going to need to keep it going if they want to make the Cinderella run a reality and not just a piece of fiction for now. But it's over. And now that it is over, let's look at some of the numbers and close out the night.
Absolutely. Taking a look at first the Frosty lineup. Of course, Varus has the number 1 spot at 30k in damage. Renekton trailing behind with that 26,000. Like I said, if the Renekton got ahead, it'd be very hard for Aether to deal with him. However, he threw fight after fight with his positioning and team fighting. So while he did a lot, it wasn't enough. Galio trailing at 3rd, 16 grand. Trundle pick, like I said, what an odd pick. Remember in match select, I said it's okay. I didn't say it's good, it's not terrible, but it's okay. And it really is okay with the lowest damage in the game, lower than Janna, almost lower than Janna, lower than Nami. Very, very questionable pick on that side. Sion in the top lane, 23,000. Kane, 25,000, a bit more. Fizz, lackluster in damage for Assassins, generally pretty average for Assassins, so 22 grand. And of course, Hero, living up to his name, 50,000 damage on the 80 carry Twitch roll.
Yikes.
And then Janna trailing at 5th at 11,567. Twitch, like we said, the quintessential late game carry has one of the longest ranges, but with that early game cannot guarantee that he gets there. However, his team gets him through the game, manages to get 4-0 on Gawain in that early game while he did throw it a little bit and managed to not make them lose immediately. And they pull through the victory. How are we doing with damage taken?
Well, champion himself, Solo Rost at 56k. Yikes. That's a lot of damage. A lot. That was received on the side of the Trundle. Some
Absolutely.
spooky stuff to come through. Let's look at the vision score. And the highest number I spy is 104 on Ziffy. Excellent stuff on the Janapak.
It is interesting. We see almost consistently that the team with the highest vision score is the team that won. Whether that is a causation or a correlation thing is yet to be seen. Most likely correlation, as the team that gets ahead more and more is it's a lot easier to place wards down and then refill your ward count.
Absolutely. Now, I have a question for you, Draxier.
Absolutely.
If you want to elect standout player on Aether Esports, of course, who would you pick?
Hero did pop off in both games, did fairly well. However, in both games, I do believe that the reason why they were in the game at all has to be. This is hard. Everyone played so well. DeWay with the kill onto Vi when the Urgot hit the tower with his W, managed to get him that kill. Scion, consistent tank throughout. The Kane on Law on Kane had some good plays throughout that game. In the last game, he was playing, I believe. Help me out with this. In the last game, he was playing.
Last game was Zaya.
Law on Zaya?
Well, no, not Law on Zaya. We're talking Hero.
Here on Zaya.
Yeah,
well,
Hero
I
on
guess
Zaya. If you're talking
considering-
Law,
Yeah, Law last
Law
game
on
had
Kazakhs.
Kazakhs, I see. So I think the two runners for me would actually three runners. It would have to be between Fizz, the Gawain, Hero, and Ziffy. And I think we have to do elimination process. How about it? Let's talk a little bit.
Hero and Ziffy. Okay. Well,
Let's talk.
I like it. I like going here, Ziffy. We're looking at the bottom and mid half of the map here. I'm actually going to give it over to Ziffy. I feel a support undershadowed most of the time, but 1-1-19, crucial pickup in this Janna performance, and I'd say definitely a very good reason as to why they were able to pull out both games with the W.
Absolutely, and now I remember he was playing Rakan in that first game, pulled off a lot of good knock-up charm combos, keeping his Zaya alive in those fights. A couple missteps by him, but everyone has mistakes, so gotta give it to Ziffy as well.
Absolutely. And with that said, congratulations, Ziffy. Let's get you in here.
Wait, what?
Congratulations, my friend. You have won the standout player for the
What?
series. Yes,
I
I know. Shocking, but you did it. Congratulations on the 2-0 against Frosty Esports here. How does it feel?
We did it!
You did it.
Yay! Awesome!
Your team played well, and you pressed E. Isn't that great?
I pressed E!
Alright, excellent stuff. Coming here, Ziffy. Walk into the matchup against Frosty Esports. How are you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling pretty hype right now, man. I got that adrenaline going on, dude. Like, what?
Alright, good. Before the matchup, though, before all this hype, before the 2-0 upset, how are you feeling?
Really excited, actually. Me and Hero have been, like, practicing a lot together, we just got our click going on, and we, like, were able to bring that in with the team. And just, we knew we could win our lane. As long as we won our lane, we could keep going through with all the other team lane. It was just really good for us. I give my props out to Hero because me and him, ooh.
Definitely some good stuff. Drax here, do you have a question?
Absolutely. What were your thoughts going in to your two matchups? You had Zaya Rakan versus Twitch Leona, and then in the second game you had Twitch Janna versus Varus Nami.
The first matchup, we already knew what we were going to play. We straight knew that we were going to play Zaya Rakan. We knew we were going to do the work there. The second matchup was it was more delayed. We didn't know exactly what we wanted to play. We were thinking like MF, some other support. We didn't really know. And immediately, as soon as we figured out that they were going to play Varus, we needed to ban Lulu and get rid of Jana from that pick.
I see. So it was a more of a counter their bot lane style rather than pick something that felt strong for you.
It felt strong for me regardless.
Right, obviously, yeah, Janna being one of the S tier supports, but it's very interesting that you said you can't let them have the Janna.
We couldn't have them. We couldn't let them have like either of those. Like we knew we had to get rid of one of them.
All right. Some excellent stuff coming out of the Aether Esports support. Ziffy, you played great. Your team played great. Let's hope you can carry that momentum into Week 8. This was your support for Aether Esports. Doors on the left, I believe. Yes, Army Overlord?
The right.
Ah, my bad. Doors on the right.
Doors.
Thank you very much.
All right. Think it's about time. Close out the broadcast. It was a long, fun, exciting day, exciting night to come through.
Well, that'll be it. Army Overlord here as your camera guy. Thank you very much for watching.
Right, I was your play-by-play caster, Blaze, and joining me on the color.
It's Drax here. Have a good night.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. is going to be another game, another match at another time here. It'll be Nevermore versus Ascendancy Gaming. Match of the week. Looking pretty excited for that matchup in particular. Both cards, different teams. Both of these teams looking for something special, and they could both use a win or a tie on each side. Would love to see what happens next for that. Anyway, guys, good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hashtag always do interviews. Hashtag wish we could do more interviews. Hashtag thank you. Good night, everybody.